So you're in year 11 and yeah, like, well, I think most of you would have finished mocks by now, or you're like halfway through your mocks if your mocks are between 2 weeks. And you actually have an exam to prepare for. And after your mocks you might be like, now what do I do? Like, apart from obviously maybe revise, like if you want to do A-levels at college, maybe actually revise after, but like obviously you're not going to revise like all the way throughout the next like 4-5 months-ish. You're going to find your results soon, and then you'll work from that. You'll see where you'll go depending on what results you get from the mocks. And in this video I'll go through what I would say to myself if I did my mocks, and what I would say to myself if I just done my mocks if I need to prepare for my GCSEs. I'll summarise all this into 3 simple tips for you guys. If you're new to me and my content, click below, check my channel out. If you like the content, then maybe press subscribe to get more content from me in the future. Let's dive right in. My first tip just revolves around prioritising your weaknesses depending on the sort of grade that you get from your mock. You get your grade back and then you realise, I did well in this, like these grades, that's what I want. Like if I want like a 7 in some of my subjects, yeah, I hit that target that I set for myself. But I'll look over at a different subject which I need to do well in, and I just haven't done well enough in that subject. So what you need to do over the next 4-ish months is that you just need to prioritise the subjects which you're absolutely trash out, or you're just not doing well enough in. Don't waste your time obviously doing the subjects which you're good at. Obviously spend a little bit of time reviewing the work that you're good at, just so you don't like forget it, and just so you don't pile it all up in the last month or last few weeks. Spend the majority of your time from now to your exams. Spend that time filling in the gaps of knowledge or understanding that you just don't have a clue on, or spend more of your time reviewing the stuff which you need to work on. Now obviously you might be like, yeah, that's kind of obvious, but how do I actually do that? Well, for example, what I did was I'll use my sort of year 10 sort of those sorts of reports, teacher reports. I use those to sort of base off what I would get in my actual GCSEs if I was going to do them. Obviously I didn't. And then I saw that I was lacking in my English literature and a little bit of language and RE mainly. So then I spent the time a little bit over the summer, and definitely majority of year 11 looking at those subjects right into detail. Then found the bits which I didn't know, like how to actually answer a question in literature, the key bits to include in an RE exam. And a key tip to sort of try and solve your problems with each subject is to just search it up on YouTube. Especially for English literature, I just typed in how to do better in English literature GCSE and the exam board. Got my answers. RE was a bit more difficult. Stuff like your humanities and just subjects like RE. Search it up on YouTube and also look at the exam board's actual info on those on the subjects which you're struggling with. Subjects like RE, possibly like stuff like history, geography. Look on the exam board, look at past papers, look at the style of the questions. Just do whatever you can to sort of help yourself with the subjects that you're struggling with. So like 75 to 80% of the time work on subjects which you are absolutely trash at, and the rest of the time spend every week or 2 weeks just looking back on the more difficult stuff in the subjects which you find easy. My second tip is to start reviewing your work right after your mocks. You know, I hear some people say, like, when you just start off in year 11, start revising right away, it will be amazing for you. No, you don't have to. I don't think I even did like revise straight away. What I did was just make my revision material but didn't actually revise properly for it. I just made them so it was ready for when I did want to revise. And I was doing my actual GCSEs. I would probably start right now after I've done my mock. But don't do like an amazing amount. I would just recommend doing a little each week. So for me, back in year 11, I would probably do a little on Wednesday and a little on Sunday, probably. Like very little. Probably Wednesday, look at the stuff which I'm absolutely trash at, and half of the Sunday look at the stuff that I'm trash at, and a little bit of the stuff that I'm good at. Not a lot, not like the full day obviously, like 1 to 2 hours each day from the very beginning after your mocks. That'll slowly build up, so like, you know, you've spread it all across those 1 month, And to be honest, you can probably get away with just 1 hour. That depends how many subjects you're struggling on, how many subjects you find easy, what subjects you need to do well in to do them in A-level or college. So spend little times each week filling in the gaps which you don't feel confident in. So if I did my mocks and I did very badly in geography, I'd look at myself in the mirror and say, Somya, you need to do well in geography. You need to get work done in geography. And I'd start reviewing that stuff right at the start of the book straight away. You've got a lot of time to do very little, really, when you look at your whole content that you actually need to cover. Use revision guides, use YouTube, use websites, use exam boards, practice papers. Everything is online, everything in your textbooks. And then if you plan on reviewing the stuff that you're good at, like a little bit each month, then review difficult stuff. For the stuff which you're struggling with, review the very basics and slowly build up. Master the basics before you try and master the more difficult stuff. And also, start off very slowly. Start off with a very small amount of work to do in terms of revision and review. And then as you get closer to the exams, sort of increase that workload. You'll already be used to the work that you've done previously, that workload. You just have to add a little bit extra every few weeks. That way you'll be able to deal with any sort of piles of work which you get on the way up to your exams. My third and final tip when you're looking at revising for your GCSEs or just working towards your GCSEs is to practice. Practice will get you there. I don't know how many times I will keep on talking about practice, but I'll keep on going to these understand. Practice makes I'm talking about, don't use cliches in your language exam. Practice questions are definitely 100% probably the best way to revise for any sort of exam, especially for GCSEs. More in-depth video, literally the video that I just made, that's why it's still stuck in my head. Right, boom, right there. Watch that to get a full understanding on the sort of elements of practice questions. Summary, basically, active recall, practice questions. When you look at a question, you try and think of the answer. You're trying to get information out of your head. If you successfully do that, that connection in your head gets stronger, easier to remember. Happy days. If you don't know the answer or you just have no clue, that's the stuff that you need to revise. It sort of tells you what you need to revise and also tells you what you don't need to waste time on. You know, you do these flashcards, you're like, oh, practice papers, yeah, past papers, flashcards. Similar things, worst thing, same level, but practice questions are much better. My final few tips, if you're in year 11 or maybe year 13 even, this video will help if you're in year 13. If you're doing your mocks, when you get up to the final day of the exam, don't panic. Just don't. It's all in here. It's all in your head. Both the stress and the knowledge that you've got. What you need to do is get that stress out of your head, keep the knowledge in there. Sort of like filter out the stress. Keep the knowledge up there. Don't panic, don't stress. I want to say just GCSEs. If you're doing A-levels or college, those are more worth the sort of effort in a way than GCSEs. GCSEs, if I say it slowly, is becoming more important, but as I say, use the GCSEs to get to your next step in life. If you're just going to do GCSEs, then maybe you want to do decent in them if you want to get a job straight away. Follow these 3 tips and you'll be fine. Prioritise those weaknesses that you've got, that you found out because of the mocks you've got a bad grade in it or not a grade that you want. You know what to work on. You start reviewing straight away afterwards. Slowly, not like tremendously large amounts, slowly, and you're going to slowly build it up. And you're also going to get practice questions in your revision because it is the best way to revise according to me, and it is 100%. And quick tip, go to sleep. When it comes to that sort of last week of revision, go to sleep like early-ish. Ideally go to sleep at around 10. If you should go to sleep earlier, then perfect. Like, it's just no point. It is better to sleep early than stay awake trying to put information, cram it all in. Taking a rest, taking sleep will also calm yourself down to relieve any stress that you've got. I know I would be pretty stressful if I realised my English literature exam was tomorrow. But you're revised, you're going to do the best that you can do. Don't worry about it. So there you have it. My 3/4 tips for what to do after you've done your mocks to help you revise, help you focus on what you need to do, just general tips to help you in your actual GCSEs. I wish you the best of luck if you're in year 11 or year 13 if you're watching this. Those are the tips which I would give myself personally if I'd just done my mocks. Definitely do those. Probably the biggest one, all of them. I sort of think, if I look at them, which one's the best? Probably prioritise your weaknesses, work hard on your weaknesses. If you're already strong in other subjects, focus on those, then you'll be fine. If you want to focus on the specific subject which you're doing bad in. But anyways, I wish you the best of luck in your actual GCSEs, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.